Welcome back to Commodore Corner, another thrilling episode where I delve into my collection of Commodore games and show you how badly they can be played in the shortest possible period of time that I could possibly put together for you. Anyway, welcome back. This is Retro Bear. Thanks for being with us once again. As I said, some Commodore games for you. There's a bit of a theme to this one and a bit of a story again. This was recorded back in October last year, the footage anyway. The idea was this was going to go out for Halloween. I mean, I could have been really lazy and left it till October this year to do, but I thought, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. So these games are based on sort of a theme of ghost, horror, Halloween, shenanigans, etc. And they've all come from the same label. And a budget label as well for the Commodore 64, which most people will know, the Mastertronic label. We've got two variations here. We got the red label, red box one, which I'll show you in a second, and also the black label, slightly more upmarket, I suppose, way of looking at it. I think it was it Mastertronic? Yeah, just a slightly different variation on it. If you collect your 8-bit stuff, then you'll know that there's lots of subsets and subsets and subsets of subsets. That's a lot of subsets, which I'm not really interested in collecting. I just pick up, picked up over the years what's there, like I said many times, a lot of my stuff just comes through bulk buying of certain things, and if there happens to be a load of stuff in there for it. I've got loads of budget games, some terrible beyond belief, but that is the way it is. So what we've got for you are 3 games of varying quality, I think is the best way to describe them. One, probably the most common Commodore 64 game I think there is out there. One which, it is pretty common as well, and the other one which is quite a decent little title. So the games in question, we've got Chiller. Now you'll notice this, it's very much loosely based on the old Michael Jackson Thriller craze that was going on at the time. That looks suspiciously like Michael Jackson, circa about 1993, something like that anyway, predicting the future. And I believe there was originally 2 versions. One, there's actually a version with the Thriller music done with it, and I think it got pulled not long afterwards. Sadly, this isn't one of those. They just say 5 astonishing screens with multi-levels. 5 astonishing screens. Wow, that's what you got back in there. Say 5 levels, 5 screens. That was it. And it's a fast loader as well, which is always very important if you load these from tape. As always, what you're about to see here is all the games have been loaded from tape as usual. I'd love to be able to show you some screenshots, but there aren't any. We've got some instructions and things like that. That again, the problem was back in the day, of course, that a lot of the games didn't have screenshots. They sold themselves on the cover or the price, or indeed both, and you'll see it's a red tape box as well. Second one you're going to see is Spooks, which again is on the same red label Mastertronic. Again, it's a fast loader, and again there's absolutely no screenshots to show you. Oh, there are actually. Oh, sorry, there are. Apologies. Conning you out of some screenshots there. If you can see them, there's the screenshots there. Yeah, fabulous, isn't it? Yeah, works really well, that. Don't worry, you'll get to see it in full colour in a second. And then finally, the one which is the black label, which is slightly different. And this may cost a bit more back in the day. Those are $1.99 titles. This one may have cost a bit more. It may not have done. It's not historically accurate, so I don't really know. It's Werewolves of London, which, if you remember, there was a film called The American Werewolf in London, and then there was a well-known song called Werewolves of London. And there are some screenshots again on the back there, which you can't see very well, but don't worry, we'll show you some full motion screen moving footage very shortly. Yeah, so those are the 3 games you're going to see. As you will see, they all vary in quality, which is one of the great points of doing these videos. Anyway, let's cut to Retro Bear in October last year. Well, playing the game in October last year, but doing the voiceover 10 months later, seeing if you can remember exactly what the games were about. So we kick things off with Chiller. Yes, you can see this is attempting to parody the Michael Jackson song of the era, rather unsuccessfully. Looks nothing like it. But you get the general idea. This is what budget games are all about. Cheap and cheerful. And that's the best way to have it. So let's kick things off then. And this is, as the back of the box said, it was a multi-screen game. I think it was 5 altogether. I'm the main character jumping around. The idea is to pick up these little icons. There's crosses and little, I suppose, pots and things. They're all dotted around. There's one just to my left there, which I'm probably going to skip past and try and avoid the spiders. Every time I hit something, you can see there's a bar across the middle, coloured bar across the middle. And that keeps dropping. It's some of them. These pickups actually damage your health and some improve. I can't really work out which ones are which. There's an awful lot of enemies on the screen. You can see there. Yeah, there we go. And for some reason, it's put me through to the next level. I'm not quite sure why. So I'm still not quite sure what to do. What I'm doing. We're now in the theatre, so this is sort of cinema type thing. And again, just going from there. It's a strange old game. I mean, it's so cheap and cheerful right at the very start. It's a budget game. That's exactly what it is. Doesn't seem to be particularly tricky looking at it. Although it sort of jumps around a little bit, and that's one of the these platform games. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing overly special here. There's nothing really sets it apart from anything else. And as I've said, I think possibly before, it's one of the cheap and cheerful games. Chiller the Ghetto. So we're off to the retro ghetto now. Once we bump into Callum, maybe we won't. I don't know. But yes, I mean, look, it is what it is. It's fairly functional if you can work out what you're doing. I dare say probably get more out of it. I mean, it did say at the start, on the back of the box says 5 levels. This is level 3, so that's as far as I got. I don't think I did too badly, but I don't think I sort of knocked it out of the park really. So yeah, strange old game, this one. Not really sure what to rate it. It's an awful lot better than this one, though. I'll give you that. This is Spooks, which it's got a very nice loading screen, much better than Chiller. I will give the people who put this one together a lot of credit for it, because it's rather good. It's got nothing to do with the BBC espionage secret agent drama of the early 2000s, and I've got absolutely no idea what I'm meant to be doing on this either. You're going to go through a series of rooms and pick up some items. Like there's a blue key there, but beyond that, I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. There's a map on the right hand side, which I really have got no idea if it's helping me at all. I'm guessing every time I walk through a room, as you'll see, it's drawing in a new part of the map. But beyond that, again, I'm not really sure what I'm meant to be doing. And then, energy 94, decision time 80. What do I do with the bed? Do I pick it up? I mean, can you imagine carrying a bed around? There's a clock there. Do I get to the clock? Can I get through there? Yes, I can. Do I want to pick the key up? Do nothing. Quick game. Drop. Oh, bed. Drop it. Pick it up. Pick up the blue key. Does that mean I can now go through that thing above me? Maybe I can go that way instead. And down there. I don't know what that is. Again, it doesn't say. It's really complicated to work out what it is. The music is horrendous. It's appalling music. It really is. This is sort of the other end of it. I didn't mind Chiller so much, but this is just real sort of bargain basement tat, really. I mean, it's what you could afford back then. It was a $1.99 game, but that doesn't give you, an excuse for a game really not to be particularly clear or helpful. And as a result of it, this is about as far as I got. Padlock, heavyweight, key. What am I meant to do with that one? I don't know. No idea what I'm meant to be doing. I mean, is the idea to walk around and pick everything up? Clear, open the map up. I'm on 85. How have I got 85 energy? How have I lost energy? Do we know? Does anybody know? Put the bed down. Pick up the burning coal. It's a good idea. I am dead. I've completed 2%. Death by coal.
Death by Cold. So we go on to Werewolves of London, which is desperately trying to get some sort of digitised artwork there, and sort of failing quite miserably because it looks like a bit of a mess. It's actually probably, I would say, probably the worst one of the three we've seen on the loading screens. And again, this one's a little bit hampered by the fact I'm not quite sure what I'm meant to be doing, because this character I'm walking around down now in the green shirt will at some point turn into a werewolf. I appear to have no shoes on as well, which is rather worrying. So, yeah, I know what you're going to say. You should read the instructions before you start. Yes, I know, but I couldn't read the instructions because the flipping font on the inside of the box once again was beyond readable. So, the idea, I think I'm going around and sort of harassing people, and at some point I should change to werewolf like now, and then I can eat them like that. And then by doing that, I think that attracts the police, not Sting and Gordon Sumner, etc. But there you go, I'll eat that person. It's quite graphic, really, isn't it? Mid-80s game, quite graphic. And the idea is to do this and avoid being detected by the police. And I think, if I can remember correctly, something to do with, as I said, that's a tube station. There's a policeman coming at me now, and he's caught me, and I've ended up back in jail. And at the moment I'm sort of still werewolf-alised, because on the right hand side you've got the sun and the moon graphic, which will therefore keep changing every time, and that'll mean I'll change from one. This is like a bit of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, so I'm stuck in here at the moment. I can't get out until that happens, and now I'm allowed to go out again as the law-abiding member of the public and not want to go around eating people. Which I think, you know, it's not. It's probably the best looking of the three games we played today. I'd say there's no doubt about it, and probably there's a little bit more in the way of a progression from, you know, start to finish. I think there's more an idea of what I'm doing. I mean, it's fairly easy to control. I don't think it's that bad, you know, but it's just a bit complicated in trying to work out what I'm doing. But yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I don't think you can trigger that change in the weather. Now we're going down to the tube station. You'll notice on there, because I've just changed into werewolf, and on the right hand side of that doorway there was like a tube sign with the London Underground. So I'm now on the tube station. So there we go. Jump over that. I can go down the escalator. There we go. Lovely. And there's a map of the tube. Oh, there's a policeman there. So I'm going to avoid the policeman because they will send me back to where I came from. I'll pick that up, which is some. I think that's some health there, is it? Some health, if I can work out how to pick it up. No, I can't work out, and now I'm going to get eaten and then captured and then taken back to the prison cell. And this is very much how this game sort of goes. It's the idea is to not get caught, which is pretty much the way of in life. But again, I don't think I think certainly by far and away the best of the three games I've played here today, that's for sure. But we'll toss it back to Retro Bear, because he'll be able to give you a bit more of an idea of what I actually think of this, because I've got one opinion, he's got another, and we'll have to wait and see which one comes out on top. But yeah, I've got to be honest with you, I think this is not a bad little game at all, and certainly the best one of the day.
Now, of course, the first thing that is going to hit you about all three of those games is how terrible they look, and indeed how terrible one of them certainly is. One I just couldn't get on with. Chiller, I would persevere with. What you saw there was the fruits of my labour. I can't remember how long I played it for, quite some time, but yeah, I would persevere with that one a little bit more, because I think I could maybe get a bit further with it. I'm not saying I could finish it. That would be the statement of the century, no doubt about it, and last century. But not bad. You know, cheap, cheerful, that's what it was. Nowadays, you know, it is what it is. Do you know what? I really couldn't get on with this one at all. I think it was just the fact that I'm just terrible at it. Plus the fact those are the instructions there. I mean, you know, I couldn't be bothered to use Mrs. Bear's magnifying glass to read those. But I really didn't get what I was meant to be doing in that game at all. Really didn't get it. So yeah, I won't be playing that one anytime soon. The winner, by quite a country mile, is Werewolves of London. I really quite enjoyed that. There is a real sort of feel that, again, with a little bit of mapping, you know, one of these things about those games from years and years ago is mapping things out, especially got a flick screen. You've got to go from one to the other and go back and forth, and you're getting transported around. I honestly think that's not half bad, that one. It's difficult to say between this and Chiller, but I would probably put this one ahead because I think it looks nicer. You know, run rampage across the rooftops, get savage in the sewers, have a hairy fit in Hyde Park, spread terror in the tube stations. I think I'd persevere with that one and get quite far with it, and Chiller. But yeah, I wouldn't touch Spooks again with a barge pole. It's like one of those games you're going to stick on the shelf and you're never going to come back to again. You know, so yeah, real mixed bag. And you could say they were probably horrible as well, given the fact that they're based around the theme of horror. Have you played any of these? Chances are some of them may well have done. Do you remember any of these? Has this inspired you to play any of them? I don't know. You'll have to let me know. The comments are there for doing that purpose. Love to hear from you what your thoughts are on that. And indeed, any particular themes that you may like me to do for Commodore Corner. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. Unfortunately, don't please send me suggestions about don't do this again and stop doing YouTube, because, you know, yeah, I have those all the time. I don't pay any attention to them. So I'm still here, persevering, soldiering on, as we do. Yeah, so any ideas for any future episodes of Commodore Corner that you would like to see games through a theme, particular characters, labels, or whatever? If I've got them, I'll try and whip it out. I'll leave that with you. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in Commodore Corner very, very soon. Until then, this is the Retro Bear saying, mind how you go. Ta-da for now.